What's up, guys? Thank you guys for tuning in to Bully Visionz Pawdcast, our second episode. I'm excited to bring to you guys some special guests again with us on the podcast episode. Today we are going to be introducing you guys to some very good friends of ours that we met throughout our journey being with Lone Wolf Big Timer Kennels. So we are so pleased to have them on our podcast and definitely excited for you guys to get to know them a little bit better if you don't know them already. So let me introduce my guests. I have Tell and Amy with Gatorback Kennels and the Pitbull Store. Say hello, guys.
Hey, what up?
Hello.
How are you guys?
Doing well. Thank you so much for having us. It has been a journey. It's been years. It's crazy.
I know. It's crazy to think that it's been so many years.
Right? Man.
And I was actually telling Eddie and Leo, I'm like, I haven't seen pictures of their daughter in like so long that I don't even know. She probably looks so grown now.
She literally asked me, she's like, can I, because I was reminding her, I'm like, oh, you remember I used to play with Savannah's daughter at the dog shows and stuff. The time, kids are just a time capsule.
They really are.
Yeah. Can I be on the podcast? I'm like, I'll ask her.
Oh, you should have let her.
Run around here crazy somewhere.
All right, guys. So yes, this is Amy and Tell. You guys, they are with Gatorback Kennels, and they also own multiple stores in the Arizona area and California area. Pitbull Store. Go ahead and let us know a little bit about your guys' background, how Gatorback started, and how you guys got into breeding.
Well, that started. Let's see. Gatorback Kennels started back in 2003.
Yeah, I mean, dogs has always been around. Dogs has always been part of what Amy and I do, so Gatorback Kennels, we started back in 2003, essentially with first dogs, first litters.
American Pitbull Terriers.
Yeah, back American Pitbull Terriers. And then it just kind of went from there, things developed, things change. We've always just been around dogs, and
Okay.
So
dog lovers.
Yeah.
And you guys only do XLs, right? That's the only...
Primarily XL American Bullies. We do have a couple of standards, but primarily XL American Bullies.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I remember when we first started out, and we honestly didn't know that there was like XLs until we saw like your guys's and like others, like Hobbs and all them. We were like, these dogs are huge.
It's kind of wild because we, started breeding American Pitbull Terriers, life, work, all of those things. And then we didn't really start going back to breeding until after we had our daughter, and bullies didn't exist when we first started. So I had to do a lot of research because everything changed. American Pitbull Terrier is really the backbone.
Yep.
And just the way that like KC classifies different size dogs and stuff like that. So, and the differences between like a pit bull and a bully, there's a lot of differences.
Mm-hmm. There is. I didn't realize that either until we got Lumbre. And then even when we got her in our time, she was still only classified as an American Pitbull Terrier because a lot of registries still weren't recognizing the American Bully yet.
Yep.
So I mean, actually, I think one of her paperwork is still American Pitbull Terrier. So
no, I believe it. That's 100%.
Yeah, so I agree with you. Research is definitely given, like in this breed. What inspired you guys to start Gatorback Kennels? Like, are you guys just, like you said, dog lovers? Was there an inspiration for this specific breed? Or
so, honestly, I've never owned a different type of dog.
Okay.
A terrier and a bully. But funny enough, Gatorback came from you say, because
So it's just like, I mean, inspiration, I guess, it's just, it's a passion, you know.
Okay.
Dogs are fun. Like me and Amy were hanging out last night when running with the dogs, and we were just sitting there, and it was kind of chilly out, had a fire going, and we were completely content with exactly what we were doing, you know, and like we still are. But Gatorback to us is just kind of like, I mean, you put a pit bull on its back, and you know, you look at it from above, and to me it looks like an alligator, you know, or a crocodile. Mm-hmm. That's where it kind of comes from.
That's cool.
And his first pit bull was named Allie.
Allie, yeah.
Yep.
Allie.
So Allie Gator.
But that was back. That was she was a Chinaman dog, so a little bit different breed.
Okay.
But dogs just are. They're genuine. They are who they are. They're trainable. You can train them, but it's very obvious if a dog doesn't like you. It's very obvious if a dog does like you.
Mm-hmm.
They're just genuine. It's an animal. It's primal. I enjoy them. We enjoy hanging out with them.
That's awesome. I agree. They're loyal. They're affectionate. You know, they're more loyal than the human. You know, that you'll meet and grow apart from. Now, you know.
Yep.
So I agree with you 100%. Whose idea was it to start breeding out of you guys, or was it just like
it was definitely tough. I have always had dogs, but I had never bred, and he had, and it's I mean, you've had litters, so you know that it's hard.
Oh yeah,
it's messy and it's dirty. There's a lot of heartache to it, but it's also super beautiful to watch. And now we don't just have foundations now, you included. We now have like their grandchildren, which is even cooler. So you watched them grow, and it's hard, but it's also beautiful and rewarding
in so many ways. That's so true. That's so true. I know. I remember when we first had our first litter, and Tito was here with us, so you know that was helpful. But I don't know what we would have done if he wasn't. Because I mean, Eddie was running around. We intended in having a season, but she had other plans, and she delivered them in our living room.
Wow!
So
I didn't know natural.
Awesome. Yeah, that was fun. But I just remember Eddie running around the living room like we didn't know what to do. I was trying to write weights down. I was like, it was
In some ways, like it's so much easier to do a natural birth where mama is taking control and knows what's going on, and then in other ways it's like so stressful to do a natural birth versus C-section.
It's a lot more difficult now. You know,
right?
I mean, your dogs before they can, you know, I mean some breeds still can, but you know, they can just have them outside, have them in a closet, and then they would pretty much do everything on their own. It really isn't the same anymore. Sometimes it's not, dependent on mom, but yeah, it's definitely a little bit different.
Right.
Yeah, I agree completely. That's awesome. I remember so much. Actually, I think I still have I think I have a tank top. It does not fit me anymore, but it says Gatorback Kennels and Pitbull Store on it still. So it's when you guys had both on each shirt, you know, like. So I remember that. And Annalise will have a shirt that she doesn't fit in anymore either. But
I still have the shirts that we got from you guys. But I was tell him like, I remember when we just had like our Gatorback website, and we were like, you know, you start from wherever you're at is where you start, and we were starting at home, and I think you were the first person to ever buy one of those tank tops from us. So thank you.
Oh my God, you're welcome. You know what? You know how everybody has like their goal jeans or like their, you know, like I want to get back into those. That's kind of like my goal, to get back into that tank top.
I don't even know if I have one of those things anymore.
We'll see if it works. That's awesome. Okay, so I want to get back. I want to get into the Pitbull Store. So how did you guys go from Gatorback? I know when we met you guys were already the Pitbull Store, but how did you guys maneuver into being, you know, a breeding kennel and to now well, both businesses, but now having a full-on business that you guys, started going to shows, and then you guys opened your first store. Like, that was really exciting. So how did you guys get to like that?
Do you want to take that one?
It was basically like, so we had dogs,
Right.
And we were hitting shows, doing shows, selling products at that point.
Hardcore too. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we had kind of our own type of line, we had jobs at that time. We were working regular jobs.
Okay.
Much less hours than we do now, but that's all right. And we were thinking about, opening up a store, doing our research on that. And Amy and I both have very developed backgrounds, I guess I could say,
okay.
As far as, business, training, people, just a lot of different things. And so I was talking to the owner of the Pitbull Store at the time, and I was asking him for stuff, and and he said he didn't have time. He wanted to sell the store, and when he said that, I think I called Amy about 10-15 minutes later, and I told her, and it was pretty much common sense at that point, and just gut feeling, and we purchased the one location on 43rd Ave.
Oh, wow.
And that had been there about 10-15 years, maybe
10.
Not that, maybe 10 years. And so we kind of went that direction, and then Amy and I were super excited. It was awesome. It was just me and her, and so we went forward with that, and that was January.
It was January 1st, 2020 is when we took over.
Right in the beginning of COVID.
Yeah, it hadn't even released yet.
And that was pretty strange, and we were kind of like, well, because that happened, we were like, did we make a bad choice? But that first year was amazing, within 6 months of having Phoenix location, we opened up Mesa. What we noticed was a lot of people from the East Valley of Metro Phoenix would come to 43rd Ave, which, if you're familiar with the area, it's a little bit far.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we opened up Mesa, and then it just kind of went from there,
So the business was just mom and pop, just like we are today. And they were, they wanted to retire. They were looking for the right buyer, and, God puts you where you're supposed to be, I think. And I remember exactly when he called me. I used to be a corporate trainer, and I took a 5 because he never called me during my work hours. I'm like, give me just 1 second. And it was like, yep, let's do it. It was no hesitation. It was time to do it. But we kind of took our experience in the dog world and applied it to what they were already doing well,
Mm-hmm.
It's
been a blessing.
And kind of mixed, some of the inventory that we had carried with some of the inventory that was already there, and just kind of put it together.
Yep.
It worked well. We have familiar backgrounds with, weight pulling up in Washington State. They do a lot of sleds?
Yeah.
Sleds there, and a lot of them are Malamutes and Huskies, and a lot of them there. So the store is very working dog motivated, and it still is. We enjoy that kind of stuff. I like dogs that do a lot of different things, and so not only is it just kind of that working dog mentality, but it's also showing, ABKC showing fun dog or shows, that kind of stuff. So just really well rounded. We open everything. Yeah,
the biggest the common denominator between, we may be called the Pitbull Store, but the common denominator is we all have love for dogs, and that brings everybody together.
I told Amy I'm gonna get a Shih Tzu one of these days.
We had a whole litter come in today, and they were so fucking cute. I'm like, what are you gonna do with the Shih Tzu?
They're comfortable. They look comfortable.
They're fluffy.
You have no idea. When I see them at the clinic all the time, and especially because we work at a reproduction clinic, so there's Shih Tzus, there's Malteses, and they just come in and have them all with their bows and stuff on, and I'm just like.
Meanwhile, I'm struggle busing it with 400-pound dogs. Like,
right. I tell Eddie all the time, I'm like, these dogs act like they don't weigh anything. They just want to be all up on you. I can only imagine the XLs. Oh, no way. No, I'm not kidding you. I really wanted one, but I obviously have to wait till we can get a bigger house because it's a little tight right now. But like,
they do be taking space. So.
Yeah, and I'm sure their poops are bigger, huh?
It's actually like that's a calming part of the day. Like it's weird, but like you can just listen to some music and clean the dog poop. You don't have to think about anything. It's very, you know.
You know what, Tal? I need you to talk to Leo. I need you to influence that.
You don't have to think about nothing.
You can't even be on your phone because you gotta wear, you don't want to.
Yeah. He hates picking up dog shit, but I tell him all the time. I'm like, this is what we agreed on. This was for us. It was like a family agreement. Like we sat down, we talked about it before we got lumbre, and we were like, are we gonna do this? And this is it. Like this is, And initially, she was just a graduation present for Leo, like something to motivate him to graduate.
I did not know that. That's really cool.
Yeah, it was something to motivate him. He wasn't doing well in school, so we were like. We had met Tito and them at a dog show here in Vegas, and that's how we got her in the first place. But then later on, he wanted to do breeding when he found out that like it was a whole thing, like dog shows, and because we didn't even know it was even a thing. So
it's funny, my daughter is like she has been with us to everything. Yeah. But now she doesn't want to go in the show ring. She doesn't. She like gets all.
Does she?
She's like, I don't want to go in there. She doesn't like being in the spotlight. I'm like, girl, you handle these dogs every day. You can do it.
Right.
She's like,
I remember she inspired Annalise. When she was young. Remember, she was in there. She was tiny.
Yeah.
And she was there. And Nanny's was the same way. Sometimes she likes to go, and sometimes she doesn't. It just kind of depends on who she's gonna show. So I'm with you on that. Sometimes
whichever one's gonna be wild.
Yeah, especially because Casino has already tripped her in shows before, so she does not show him. She does not. That's awesome. So Pitbull Store. I did not actually know that. Actually, to go backtrack to this. I did not know the Pitbull Store was not originally owned by you guys. Like, you guys didn't come up with it. I would have never known that. Because the promo that you guys do for the Pitbull Store and did back then was so intense and so well managed that honestly, I was like, they really did this shit. Like like when you guys opened your store and stuff, like I would have never known that because you guys did it very well.
Thank you. I
think it's familiarity. Like we're just familiar. We were customers before.
Yeah. We
believed
in it already, and they were, an older couple that were, wanted to retire and go do something else. Fernando still weight pulls. We still see him. We still talk to him.
Wow.
It's wild, and for him, it's. He always wanted to have multiple locations. He always wanted to do, it's just. And
we didn't change it. There was no change.
We thought people all the time. Why didn't you keep why didn't you get rid of the name or this or that? And I'm like, it's faithful. Like, I don't want to change the name. The Pitbull Terrier is a very important dog to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not all dogs are welcome. All dogs are welcome.
Yeah.
I can't be changing that name.
Yeah. No, I agree. You guys, if you guys don't know the Pitbull Store, if you don't know them, then you do need to go get to know them. They're guys. We've known them, and I can't even imagine not starting without knowing you guys, because you guys definitely helped us as a family, as a camp, along the way with Eddie's cancer, just everything. I mean, we couldn't have, I still, honestly, and I put this on God, I still hear everybody they love you guys. Like, so many people talk about you.
We do.
Like,
we do.
Rob, I mean, from everybody, just you know how in the dog game you do hear like, oh, you hear stuff about people.
Yeah.
I've never heard like one bad thing about you guys, about your store, about your camp. Like, if anybody brings you up, it's, oh, we love Amy and Tel. I'm like, hey.
That's how it is. We definitely appreciate that.
Yeah. So that's why I want to get into this next subject. So, background on like who is Amy and who is Tel. How did you guys meet? Like, how did you guys find each other before Gatorback? Let's get into something fun. Let's see what's fun about this.
I actually have known Amy's parents longer than I really knew her.
Yeah.
I was pretty much neighbors with them for I don't know how many years beforehand. And so I kind of like, I knew them a lot more.
Okay.
Partying?
No,
I don't think so.
So he lived next door to my parents' house, and I lived in Portland, Oregon, and I moved back, and I was visiting my parents and living nearby, and I don't know, a neighborhood. It was the Pioneer House, I think, was the first time that we met.
No, the first time.
Oh no, you're right.
So the first time we met, it was like, oh no,
long time ago.
It was in the morning. I was just kind of waking up or something, and where we had lived, there was a river behind my house, and I had Kato. Who would I have?
It was Kato,
Takaya, and Allie, didn't I?
Yeah.
I had a few dogs at the time, and I had opened my back door to let them go outside, and Amy was in the back by the river, like tanning or something, hanging out by the river, and all my dogs ran up to her, and they didn't scare you, did they?
No.
They just kind of like ran up to her.
Yeah.
And so I went and got him, and that's initially how I had met Amy.
Yeah. Actually, I forgot about that, because we're from Washington State originally. Back there, like, there's not really a lot of fences to separate, and literally there's just like everybody, what's the boats called? Everybody river rafts and stuff. So I was on a lawn chair, and all his dogs come rushing up on me. Which is funny, because years later, like, Kato was his boy, and that he gave him to me. I had a pit bull when I met him. I had bought my first pit bull on my own as a young adult, and I grew up with one pit bull that we had as a family dog, and we merged our 5 dogs together. So we kind of met over dogs all those years ago.
Wow.
Very interesting how that is still what we do.
Yeah.
But you know how they say, so basically your dogs kind of just picked Amy. That was it.
Yeah. The only good choice they ever made.
That's awesome.
And I loved that dog. That dog lived to be 14. He was such a cool dog.
Oh,
he
so
was
the dog
ridiculous.
had passed already?
Yeah. He passed away years ago.
Now he's in.
That's actually what kick-started, because we had our original dogs, and they lived 12, 13, to be 14 years old was the oldest. And Kato, we had no surviving children from him. We had no frozen semen.
Wow.
We even had him pulled at like 14. We took him to a vet, and they're like, this dust. So that kind of kick-started us back into it, because we had no line anymore. We had to start over. And we had bought we bought a bully for our daughter when she was like 2, and we're like, okay, this will be the start. We've never successfully bred her. She's actually a standard, but at that time I didn't know the difference. So, you know, she's 6 now. She's living her best life.
Oh, that's awesome.
But I hadn't had a puppy in so long. I did everything wrong. Oh my gosh. We had all old dogs.
Yeah, because you guys started off with older dogs. Yeah.
Then came Camo, and he's the dog that changed my life.
And why do you?
Because I didn't know. So I had a pit bull named Andre forever, my road dog for life. And when he passed, I was like, man, I want to, after, I don't know, it took a while. It took like 6 months to a year. And it was like, I think I'm ready for a dog. Tal did a bunch of research on pedigree and stuff. And he's like, I think this is the one. And I remember going to Bakersfield to pick him up. And I'm like, why is he so big? Like, he was big when I got him. I'm like, what? Why is he so fat? Does he have worms? I remember thinking that.
Oh my gosh.
And nope, he's just a big old boy. He's about
Yeah.
1. And he is just the dog that changed everything for me, because I was like, I could see myself doing this because of his temperament, because of how he is, because of how much I love him, basically. And I would love to see his children.
Yeah.
He's just such an attentive dog, and his kids share that.
Wow.
We have one of our Camo grandsons right now, and he reminds me exactly of Camo as a puppy. Because I told Tal, I'm like, if I wouldn't have got Camo, I don't think I would be breeding right now.
Yeah, no, that definitely was probably one of the biggest choices that you guys had, right? Is starting with him.
The foundation.
Mm-hmm.
I think the foundation for any kennel is so critical.
Yeah.
You have a good male, but you have to have an even better female.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. We learned that. I feel like we learned that the hard way. But in the beginning, I think it was more because of like the hype, you know? Not the research. And I think we learned that. So our vision now has been consistent, and I feel like we're starting to see, you know, it doesn't have to be fast, you know, like where you want to go. It doesn't have to be fast. No. And
you're allowed to make changes to that.
Yeah.
You know, like I thought I wanted the biggest dog on the block. It's
right.
gotta be huge. I don't necessarily want that anymore. I want the most correct dog on the block.
Exactly.
You know, with the best temperament, with the best, you know, all like tight feet, all those things. The boxes are.
I agree, and that's exactly right. Like, it changes.
Yeah.
If you do it too fast, you don't give it time to even have those changes or that vision change a little bit for the better. You know. So I think right now we are starting to see it, even though it's organic, moving slow. But we're happy with where we're at. We're doing our homework, making sure that they're coming out correct. We have a retired dog because she had hip dysplasia.
That's the right thing to do. And somebody a long time ago said you have to know what your dog lacks. You have to know what those flaws are, because you don't want to accentuate those. You don't want to push those to the next generation, because you want to better the breed. You don't want to take 10 steps back.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. So my next question is kind of backtracking to puppies. So as you guys, Amy and Tal, one of the, in my opinion, one of the best couples out there that I've known in the breeding community, because you guys just rock it together. How do you guys, breeding is tough, right? And it can take a toll on every relationship. And I'm sure, I will be the first to admit, it has definitely hit us a couple times. But like, how do you guys handle under pressure together? Like, I'm sure you guys have had moments that like you were like, but like, how do you guys do you guys have a routine? Like, does somebody do this? Does somebody do, like, how do you guys handle when litters are dropping, or
We do. We've settled into our routine. And it can be stressful. Tal and I have been together for 17 years.
Oh, wow.
Somewhere around there. So we've grown up together in a lot of ways.
Uh-huh.
And so we don't just have our kennel, we have these businesses, and we have employees who count on us as well. So I think that's something that's really important that we've learned throughout this time as being business owners is utilizing strengths. And that doesn't just go for Molo. Sorry, we have Molo in here, and he is just a ham.
I could hear a little in there.
So for instance, I am typically the one who whelps and runs our dogs and cares for our household and our daughter. I also do all the back end stuff, so like website, social media, stuff like that. Tells very business oriented and makes really good decisions when it comes to purchasing and managing our finances and product, all that operations basically. Yeah. So we're able to do when we don't have puppies, obviously it's easier, but
of course,
we also live outside of town now. So now we live on some land. And our dogs, we are such an important part of our life. So we have to have one person always home and available. If it's not me, it's him. If it's not him, it's me,
Okay.
So there's always somebody with our dogs. We don't have anybody who can really, fill in for us. It is what it is. And we also really enjoy it. So, utilizing strengths, communication, lots of it, right?
Yeah.
You win.
No, I think that's pretty much what it is. It's a lot of teamwork. It's a lot of utilizing the people that we do have on our team, which those are some of the people in the stores.
They're awesome.
Yeah, they do a really good job. It's time management. It's a lot of time, it's not easy, but I wouldn't want to do something else, long days, but it's fun. Like, when did we go in last night?
Midnight, 11?
Midnight, 11, something like that. So we were out last night, and this is not norm, or this is pretty much the norm, going in at like 11 o'clock at night, but it's what I want to do. That's the difference.
You have to love what you do, right? And like you guys not having no 9 to 5 and just running your businesses, like this is the choice that you guys make.
Yep.
So it's like, this is not something that you can just be like, oh, I'm gonna quit tomorrow. Like, no, this is a life-changing, decision that you guys make. So yeah, I mean, I guess I can see,
it's Amy, it cracks me up because I'll be in the stores or whatever, and somebody will ask me like about the dogs. I'm like, my wife does pretty much the dog stuff. Like, telling you, like, our biggest dog is 140 pounds, like average weight's 100, 110 around there. Like, and she's just, it is what it is. She's the boss, like Molo's sitting right here. He's 110 and they listen to Amy for the most part, and my favorite dog, Lawyer, is starting to become very, very friendly with Amy, and I'm not a fan of it. But,
oh my god!
But I mean, Amy does a lot of the dog stuff, and a lot of the back end stuff, like she was saying. But it's just mainly teamwork. It couldn't get done otherwise,
We were doing a ton of shows as well, which was difficult. I mean, we still do shows. We don't do as many. We try and do more local events. We also have like a mobile store now, which I lovingly call the G-Wagon. And we go to a bunch of different things. Like,
that's cool.
Go to local, like we do a lot of car shows. We do like what's cool is we get to follow our own interests too. And like cars and dogs, they all go together, lowriders, stuff like that. Yeah, we've met like the most amazing people along the way, So to me, sure, it's longer hours, but like we turned our hobby into something that we could do. This is our life. We made these choices. We're really blessed to be able to do this.
So I have a question for you guys. Do you guys ever get like date nights or anything? Like, can you guys ever do that?
We call our drive home, because we live about 45 minutes outside of town. We call that a break. Going on break. Nobody talks to me. We don't. I mean, we're together a lot.
Yeah.
And people often will be like, "Oh, you go on a date," or you guys go out, and I'm like, man, for me, one of my favorite times, and it happens regularly, like all the time. we light a fire in the back arena where we're rotating dogs, and like literally like we dress like Adam Sandler and like play tug of war and stuff. To me, it's just him and I usually. Like that's better than any like, oh, we're going to a movie or whatever.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Dates.
I laughed. He goes dates.
I you know what though? I've seen you guys post video, or like you guys go live or something, I think a couple times, and you guys have had a fire in the back. And you guys have all that land. Like that's such an accomplishment for you guys, and I know you guys wanted that so bad. That was probably the best thing that happened to you guys, is getting that land. Like your dogs get free range. They have, I mean, you guys do so much back there. Like,
you know, it's crazy. We have we're just animal lovers in general. I've learned.
Yeah.
My daughter is no exception. She has got us into chickens now, and weirdly, we have chickens, we have the dogs, and then we have there's a peacock rescue like by our Peoria store, and there was a female peacock out front, and there was a bunch of broken glass. So we everybody knows we have land, so they're like, hey, just take it to your land. I didn't know they freaking flew. And lost it, got it back, and now we have 3 peacocks as well, which is
my gosh.
I'm looking for another peacock.
They're really kind of cool. They're really pretty.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna have to send me a picture after we.
For real, if you can take care of dogs, you can take care of any bird. I'm convinced.
Birds are pretty
wow, that's awesome.
They don't even want to hang out with you. Dogs are like, give me the love, give me the pet over. Not birds. They're like, give me my stuff and get out of here.
Uh-huh. That's awesome. You know what I was gonna say is it's just you two, right? And like at least we have Leo. He's now gonna be 22 next week. So like we have 3 of us. So for us, if we think it's hard and it's that hard, and it's only 2 of you guys, like we need to step it up.
I'm hoping, this is my goal. I keep telling Eden because she loves animals. She spent most of her life in the stores because COVID hit and daycare's closed. So she literally she was with us every single day. And I don't know. I'm like,
she's out front right
do you
now
want to be a vet someday? Do you want to help animals? The kid, I don't know. I think she's got an animal future, whether it's with
have a choice.
Oh, we have cats too. I forgot about that.
Okay.
Only a couple.
Are they like home cats, like inside cats, or are they like
no
wild cats?
We got them for just like field mice and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Cats are a lot cooler than I thought they were. Actually, they don't care about anything. I was outside one night and one of the cats was there, and I was just looking at him. I've never had cats. I don't know anything about them. I don't care much about them.
Our daughter wanted them so bad.
Yeah. So I look over and this cat hit something on the head, and I look over and this cat just hit a snake on the head and just kept walking. Like it was, I had so much more respect for that cat. Just he didn't care.
Like, come at me, bro. And
I like cats a little bit more now.
You know what? That's funny because I'm from Wyoming originally, so I grew up on a whole life. So I knew about the cats, the difference between the cats that ate the mice and helped, take care of the land versus the cats that were inside the house. And it's so funny because the other day we took Lumbre to the vet, and Leo comes up. I work in the front, Leo works in the back because he's going to school to be a vet tech. And he comes up and he's like, Mom, come here. And I go back there. He has Lumbre back there playing with somebody's cat. And Lumbre has no care in the world for the cat, but the cat is over there just trying to like hiss and scratch her, and like she's like, pick her up, she's gonna get scratched. But she was so gentle with the cat. I was just like, Annalise has been wanting a cat, but Eddie, he's not a fan of cats. So maybe you can tell him the story. Maybe that'll help. Well, he'll hear it. So I'll use it as motivation. It killed the snake. Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, you guys definitely give us a couple goals for sure. You guys always have. You guys are so strong, and we love what you guys do. And I can't thank you guys enough for being out in the community and doing what you guys do. As far as like breeding and stuff, like right now, do you guys have any puppies on the ground? Do you guys have any females going into heat? Like, what is your guys' program, I guess, as far as breeding?
So I currently have, so we had 2 litters, October and November. Molo had 2 litters which was exciting for us because one of the mamas we produced Molo. So we're kind of getting down. Yeah. And I have a few puppies left, and they're absolutely stunning. I love them. I'm like, oh my gosh, if somebody doesn't pick these puppies up, I'm gonna end up keeping them, and I don't. Like, no, that's good though. You should love your dog. And then we completed another breeding. This one is Tell's absolute. He's been waiting on this one for years. Miss Violence.
Oh.
Who is.
She's like so we got her out of
I like the name too. Yeah.
We got her out of Vegas actually. So her dad's been dead for about 15 years. And her mom was produced the same way by using frozen semen from old studs, and so it goes back to a lot of old school lines with King Line, ICK Stalefish, and ICK Disciple. And we took her to our main male camo, and as he's getting older, haven't realized how little Camo has done for us. He's only got a few litters on the ground, but they're all superb dogs.
Yeah.
Kidding.
He gives me a hard time. How much I love it.
Lawyers got a lot more on the ground. But I'm really, really excited. We bred her about 3 weeks ago. So
yeah,
we have pups on the ground right now. Like Amy said, I don't even really care if we sell them. Honestly, I really like them.
I know.
Okay.
And then this breeding, we'll see how it goes. Never want to count your eggs before they hatch, but
that's true.
It's like true old blood to
our lines.
To our lines, yeah. So it's a big one. Tell is literally like just giddy, like we're
because the fact that he's a 140-pound dog, and she matches him.
She's taller than him.
Yeah, she matches his size, and I think she will probably be one of the better females that we bred him with. So I'm super excited to see what we get out of it.
Dang, I'm excited too. I can't wait.
Price-wise, it's wild because I'm looking at, a couple of our foundation females compared to Camo, and I'm like, they threw big dogs, but I can't wait to see what Violence can do. Because she's huge. And she's clean. She's got tight skin, no loose skin.
Oh, nice.
Athletic, drivey, just a lot of things that I'm excited about.
That's awesome.
And I think we have heats are starting in the next month, right?
Yeah, I got another one for streets lined up. Who else? We have a few co-owns out there that we're not in a rush to breed, but we do have some co-owns in Kansas City and in Montana.
Oh, we actually bred her too.
Oh yeah, we bred one of Lawyer's daughters to a Camo son, so we'll see. She's supposed to confirm her soon. So
wow.
Yeah.
Where's that?
Where's what?
Where's that one at? That's one of your co-owns you did?
She is in Montana. She is in
nice.
Little teeny town
in eastern Montana.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a question. So how do you guys feel about co-owns? I didn't even know you guys did that, but that's
they're hard.
They are hard, huh?
Yes. I think, I don't know, this might be a hot take, but I am not a huge fan of putbacks and stuff like that because space is limited. And we get asked that sometimes, like, oh, putback. It's and you could probably contest to this, that it's so much easier when it is, you're under contract for providing a stud service, and you help promote their litter or whatever, but you're not on the line for a pup, and there's so many things that can go on.
Yep.
It's the same thing with co-owns, like, yes, you are entrusting your dog to somebody. There's like 900,000 things that could go wrong, the worst being like the dog runs out and gets hit by a car, like, I haven't had a ton of success with co-owns, but I think the ones that we currently have, a lot of them are family.
Close people
that we've known since we were kids. So it takes a lot of the, I don't know, stress out of it, I guess.
Yeah. No, I agree. We haven't had success with co-owns either. We that kind of failed, and then one, her husband passed away. I think you guys probably have seen that, but her husband passed away, so we ended up getting the female back, and then it took us a good minute to rehome her, you know. But she's now with Breadwinning Kennels, and she's hitting shows and winning like crazy. So
that's awesome.
I'm like, you know, and we had Eddie's cousin at first, and he took her and he, you know, gave us a deposit. And this is the hard thing too, is like with family, like you still have to do business is business. So like, even though you can't, I don't want to say not always, but you don't always want to be like, oh, let me give you a discount. Because then how are you going to grow from that?
I don't ever, like, for me personally as a business owner and stuff, I don't want to ask for a discount.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To me, it's kind of unsavory. I don't mind if people ask me, but I won't do it.
Yeah.
A lot of it is, it's a fine line. I mean, okay, so with Amy and I would consider ourselves like business people, you know, with the stores and stuff like that. Do we treat the kennel the same? No, absolutely not.
There's caveats for sure.
Yeah, but at the same time, you know, it does have to be somewhat transactional.
Exactly.
You know, like Amy said, I don't do putbacks because I'm going to invest, you know, a lot of my time as far as bringing my mail in. I'm going to invest PGs. I'm going to invest AI. Mm-hmm. We do help a lot when it comes to breeding our dogs. So it's got to be worth my time. And if we do a putback and I make all this effort and the female doesn't take, or the litter dies, or yada, yada, yada. And, you know, I've invested, 4 days into something and receive nothing. Now, I mean, I always want to help people out, especially with knowledge. But, you know, I value my time, and I think everybody should. Mm-hmm. So I don't mind, you know, saying no to a putback deal on a stud fee. You know, I think it's keeping the value within your dogs and within your brand, and just standing firm. You know, Collins are difficult. Yeah. You know, I think the ones we have now, like Amy said, they're close. They're good people. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Oh, that's right there. But yeah, Collins are hard, you know, and it's just navigating them. No dog should ever leave your yard without a contract. Mm-hmm. And DocuSign is a valuable tool. I mean, other than that, I don't know.
Yeah. I wanted to be a break because we've been kind of like, as if we do have a litter on the ground now, to have, you know, I wouldn't say the market is tough out there. I just feel like it's so hard when there's so many people out there selling puppies for like $800,000 and probably didn't do any research, or, you know, they're just doing it for whatever reason, versus somebody that worked hard, did their research, knows what they carry, knows their, you know, wants their pup to go to good homes, and then you know your dog's worth, and this Joe over here is selling for $1,000. We expect you to do the same. You know, it's like that's not how this works. You know? So it's tough. It's kind of tough to compete with that. You know, right now. Oh, I mean, it's not on my experience. Our experience here, people that have reached out, but yeah, no, I agree. It's definitely cones. I mean, the one cone that we had that I feel like would have went if he didn't pass. They were doing everything that we asked as far as contract and, you know, like what they needed to do. And I'm still very close to her after her husband passed. So I'm grateful for that. But definitely we're thinking about, we don't know yet, but
you're thinking about what?
Co-own still. We're still iffy about it, but we'll see. We'll see where.
Well, you know, it's an option because you can't keep every dog. And
I know
they deserve a good home, you know? Yeah. So cones aren't off the table for us either. I mean, we still have a few, but I have to think long and hard about like making it easy for both parties. So one way, we've done it a couple different ways, but the easiest way that we have found to do a co-own is one litter split, and then it's your dog, what I mean? Making it super simple.
At the end of the day, I would say the main reason we breed is for the dog, so if I have a litter with this dog and I co-own it with this person and I breed that dog with one of my males that I produce, my goal is to get down the line and create that consistency within Gatorback's bloodlines. And that's the goal for me personally, and also recoup some expenses, because obviously these guys are expensive.
Yeah.
Every time we have a litter, their areas get better,
Yes.
And so, breeding down the line, and just that's the main goal, especially with a cone for us, I think. With the female in Montana, we produced her, as we also bred her to a male that we produced. We get a pup out of that, and we go from there, and
that'll keep our line going,
Yeah, don't expect to always be it's not always going to be 100%. I guess maybe we go into something thinking it's always going to be rainbows and unicorns, but it's not. So expect that. It's crap way at it, but I guess it is what it is.
Yeah. So how about shows? Like, are you guys I know you guys aren't hitting as many shows, but as far as like your guys' stuff, are you guys trying to champ out any of your dogs? Are you guys like attending?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now. Tell does not. So our dogs are ABKC, so American Bully Kennel Club, and UKC, United Kennel Club. UKC's been around forever, and then ABKC has follow suit. Tell does not care to show dogs. He just it is not something that is important to him. I have shown dogs in ABKC. They were not my productions, they were my foundations, and I enjoyed it. But I have learned that I would rather work on one of my productions in the ABKC ring, but there is so much politics, especially in Arizona with the ABKC out here, that it is everywhere. But it is challenging for me to want to go do that, to subject myself and my dogs to that. Do I need a title to know that I have a good dog? No. Yeah. Do I eventually want one of my productions to be titled? Probably. Yeah. But I like doing, there's sport dog, there's dock diving, there's a lot of other things that.
Yeah.
There's the big thing of, what is it? Looks over functionality. I would go functionality. I would.
100%. Yeah.
I would rather watch a dog bite than watch a dog stand in the ring. I like being with dogs. I like dogs being dogs, and it's
that's why he's not interested.
Yeah, and the other day, and it was that judge about a lady who, what'd she do? She let her dog go over, and but it's like dogs are dogs. That's what I like. I like to see that primal stuff. That's why I got into dogs years ago, because it's a dog, and biting is fun.
It's for me.
Pulling is fun.
Yeah, the dog enjoys it. The dog enjoys it, and then they're training. So that on-off switch is on command. So it's off, it's out. They're working for you, and they want to.
It's stimulating. It makes the dog think. And I would rather we have Molos in right here, and he's a really good example for me of looks and functionality. He likes to bite. He is gorgeous as far as his structure goes, and he's super light on his feet. So I think he's a good balance of that.
He's non-reactive to other dogs. I like
being with dogs.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
But I don't know. It's impressive to me. We hit a lot of have you ever watched protection training or?
Yeah.
It's insane what these dogs can do. To me, it's cool. I don't know. They don't care about nothing but what their owner wants from them.
Yeah.
And that's it. Yeah. And they can see the loyalty. It's visible. It's really cool.
I know. We have I don't know if you guys know him over here. I think it's K9 Star Academy or something like that. But we know Alex, but he does dog training, he does weight pulling, he does that protective training. And I watch him on Instagram and like his videos and stuff all the time, and I'm like, it's intense. Like, I love it. But I always tell, like, if I ever get an XL, because I do see him do more XLs and like the King Corsos and stuff, but if I ever get it, I would want my dog to be like that can pull a shit ton of what is it that they pull? Is it weights?
Whatever you put on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Weight pull track at our Phoenix store, and it's rails. It's like cut up rails. Actually, there's a show in Vegas, March 16th and 17th. So DJ, he's a UPF, United Pulling Federation judge, and he's throwing a show at that Dog Fanciers Park.
Yeah, okay.
Y'all should come out. So he's also, I don't know if both of us are coming, but I think I will. I'm just going to be like backing up or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever he needs me to do that day.
Okay.
But they have also got slap mill races, which will be like the first competition one. Yeah, we're gonna take our slap mill out there. They're gonna use it. But there's just gonna be a bunch of different little things out there.
I think too, it's with showing and sports and stuff like that. You gotta find what the dog excels at. Like,
yeah,
like,
I like to do.
Like, I like certain stuff, but I'm terrible at these things, and like we put Lawyer in the ring. And
He hates it. It's embarrassing.
French Bulldog bit him in the face, but
oh yeah,
yes.
But I don't like it. He'll sit down and he'll yawn, and he's like, "This is just lame." And you gotta find what the dog likes. Streets does good in the ring.
Streets likes the ring because everybody's looking at her, and she likes to be told she's a pretty girl. So,
but I think that's the most important thing. Like Molo looks awesome. I love the way Molo looks, but I don't think he likes being in the ring.
No, he also yawns. He will do what I ask him to do, but I can't show him in a sanctioned event because he's Merle.
Oh yeah.
So I can like fun shows and stuff. But he doesn't. I mean, it's boring to him. He'd rather like be feral and
completely engaged into something.
Yeah. That's funny.
I like that drive of a dog.
We have ours are the same. I mean, just like the regular fun shows and stuff, but they, like when Vegas, he got bit at the Arizona show, that Imperious threw.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, he's never been the same since.
No, they won't remember that shit.
They remember that, and we actually are gonna have Alex work with him soon, but he's very dog rapid, so. For him, but he loved being in the that boy. He still tries to show right now. Like, we'll be in the backyard trying to practice with Camino, and he loves it. He'll sit there and act like he's showing.
Well, hopefully you can get him over that hump. But that's happened to like Lawyer doesn't like it because that little friend. And what's funny is most people, if I go into a fun show ring, like I've had people ask me to move because my dog looks a certain way. Your dog looks like.
I was at a show, and my daughter had Molo, right?
Yeah.
She had Molo. He's 110 pounds, and he listens extremely well. Like, he listens really good. And this guy he was standing next to me with like this dog. It was a bully or something. And he's like, "Hey, can you make sure that she holds him? I don't want him to bite my dog." And my dog's chilling. My dog's good. And I swear to I said, "She's fine, don't worry about it." And he got up and he moved his dog somewhere else. I swear to God, 30 seconds later, he come walking by me with his hand covered in a napkin, just bleeding. So some other dog bit him, which isn't funny, but I'm just like, my dog's not gonna do nothing. It was just very interesting.
I firmly believe, because the old Pitbull stigma. You know, they're mean, they're aggressive, whatever. The bigger the dog, the better you have to be as an owner. You have to be fully responsible. I don't allow my dogs off leash when we are out. My dogs have to be in command. They have to be the most well-behaved dog out there. And that's for, me, but it's also to kind of be like an ambassador for the breed. I want people to love these dogs as much as I do, no matter what they look like.
Yes. Yeah. And that's actually the whole goal of like this podcast. Basically, my goal is to kind of break that stigma through people like us, that have a love for the breed, because they are so misunderstood and they are judged by their image. There's a thing that I like to say with Bully Visionz is behind it, the breeder behind the bully. Like, you have to be a good owner, and your dog will be a good dog. How you raise and train them is how they will represent you. And you want them to have a life. So you answered the question was like, the stigma that they have. You guys are big ambassadors because you guys know what it's like. And you're exactly right. The bigger dog you have, you better have a bigger, bigger stance on what you're going to defend, and make sure that you take care of that dog, because they are misunderstood. And
the UK, I mean, they just
UK,
themselves. When I was 11, I had a brindle pit bull, and I used to walk them all over. I lived in a little town. I didn't realize then, because I never knew pit bulls or bullies to be aggressive in any way. But I know now, as an adult, people used to cross the street because they were afraid of my dog.
Oh my god!
So that has never left me.
Yeah, that is
Polo.
Oh,
take that dog outside. Oh, gross.
Here you go, guys. This is the living life.
Get out of here, Molo. Jeez.
I love it. I love it because I'm not the one smelling it.
Oh my gosh. It's so funny because in the stores we get all kinds of people, first time dog owners, breeders, everybody's welcome. But oh my gosh, when a dog, and this happens regularly, a dog will just like let it go. They'll just make a number 2 everywhere. And the owner is like, there's only 2 different ways that they respond. One is like, oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. And the other one is like completely like they don't know what to do. And I'm like, go ahead and let them finish outside, paper towel. And they're like, what do I do with this? I have no idea. Oh, we're just gonna clean it up. It's fine.
Yep, that's the life. All right, guys. Well, before we end the podcast, I wanted to say thank you guys so much for being on. You guys are amazing at what you guys do, and we can look up you guys as the camp at Lone Wolf Big Timer Kennels. And I do have one more question. Are there any goals for next year for Gatorback or Pitbull Store for this year?
Man, we got a lot of goals. A lot of
love it. I love it.
We're getting better at what we do. Growth and communication, and the heart is there. So we're going to continue to push and continue to grow the Pitbull Store as a brand, and make very selective breedings and find wonderful homes and continue on. Got a good foundation, so we're going to continue to push it. What do you want to add, babe?
No, same thing. We have a lot of goals.
Okay. As you said, so.
Say that again?
I said, as you should. We should always have lots of goals, so.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and growth is a big one. I guess we'll see,
Yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys being on. If you want to go ahead and let everybody know where they can follow you guys, go ahead and let them know.
You can check us out on our website at pitbullstore.com. It does list all of our locations and all of our social media handles as well. You can hit us at the Pitbull Store _AZ on Instagram, the Pitbull Store on Facebook. Oh, the Pitbull Store official on Instagram as well. We got Gatorback Kennels on Instagram and Facebook, and GatorbackKennels.com for puppies, pictures, and all that good stuff. And we're always available. Use us as a resource.
Definitely. Thank you guys so much for that. You guys heard it right there. Use them as a resource. I have known them for so long now. And I definitely, like I said, couldn't imagine our journey without them. They've been a big part of our journey. And I'm so grateful that you guys were able to be with me to educate, got to learn more about you, and continue rocking it, man.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us on, and we appreciate and love you guys.
We love you guys too. Have a good night.
You too.
All right, guys, Bully Visionz, this is our second episode. Stay tuned for the next guests that we have coming up. And education, there's going to be a whole lot more on here, you guys. So have a good evening, and we will see you guys soon. Bye.
Bye.